Television and the Jericho Television Networks proudly present Urban America Today, Atlanta. Broadcasting live from Giving a Hand Inc. in Atlanta, Georgia. With your host, Roy M. Evans II. Lifestyle, culture, and entertainment with Tara Jackson, Jennifer Sky, and Yolanda Latimer. Today's guests include crew members from RimShot The Urban Musical, Knox, Sir Ryan Mann, Reggie Love Carson, and Angela Carswell. And now it's time for Urban America Today, Atlanta.
What's going on, everybody? How are you doing? Welcome to Urban America Today, Atlanta. I am your host, Roy Mitchell Evans II. And today we have some folks that are here that are going to be talking to us about a very, very special project that they have going on, as well as an upcoming event. Let me do a little of the housekeeping stuff first. You know how it goes, what we need you to do. Text your friends, Facebook your friends, let them know they can check us out. We're live online right now. They can go to myjbn.com/UAT-ATL, and they'll be able to tune in and check us out. So I'm going to start off by saying hello to Mr. Reggie Cason.
There we go.
And Miss Angela Carswell. Hello. The folks that put together the Positive Arts Movement, as well as RimShot, the Urban Musical. And we're definitely going to get into it and talk a little bit about them, what they do and how they do it, why they do it, and all those kind of things. Had the opportunity to meet these folks about a month or so ago over at the Hope Center when they did one of their sessions. And it was just great. As someone who works in the music industry and has done it for 20 years, well, in the radio industry for 20 years, you know, our music is taking a turn that's really, really bad, in my opinion. That's really just the only way to say it. And to see somebody who wants to help push and promote positive music is a great thing. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about the Positive Arts Movement?
Sure, definitely. First and foremost, Roy, thank you for having us on and giving us this platform to talk about what we do. The Positive Arts Movement, we wanted to create an atmosphere for our performing artists across all genres to make sure that they had a winning atmosphere in a positive environment. We hear all the negativity that is out there, especially in the urban areas, urban communities, and we're not trying to censor anybody, but there's also a positive side to things, and we got to bring that back. And this is what we are here to do.
All right, cool. Well, what got you into this? Why did you start? And then, you know, what is it that qualifies you to know a little bit about the music industry?
Gotcha. Believe it or not, Roy, I've been in the music industry for about 25 years. I started out as a very youth. I was youth. My mom got me involved in just about any and everything. And then following in the footsteps of my brother, Craig Cason, who is a dynamic marketer, producer, entertainment, promoter located here in the Atlanta metro area. He showed me the ropes on so many things. I mean, we did so many things from the Georgia Dome to the Silver Dome not the Silver Dome. What's down there in New Orleans?
Actually, I think that's what it used to be.
It used to be called the Silver Dome, and we used to do all of these events, anywhere from the Honda Battle of the Bands, Superdome. There we go. The Honda Battle of the Bands to Drumline, the movie, and things like that. So I did a lot of behind the things, activities, but I also did some local things such as Scribes and Vibes. That's my event. It's a beautiful blend of art, music, and poetry. We had some other events that we went on that we always promoted artists and trying to give them this atmosphere to showcase their talent.
Now, you said Scribes and Vibes, so you know Tommy Bottoms and...
That's the old Scribes and Vibes, but yeah, Abyss. Oh man, Abyss Graham, that's my dude. Yeah,
that's family.
Yeah,
shout out to you, bro. What's happening?
Right, I can't believe Abyss is a grandfather now, man.
Right, yeah, he joined the club.
Right. Oh wow. Oh wow.
All right, so well, let's before we go on, let's find out a little bit about the lovely young lady you have sitting next to you. So how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Roy?
I'm doing well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Miss Angela Carswell?
My name's Angela Carswell. Wow. I don't even know where to begin. I got my start in corporate America in higher education. I would recruit students and bring them to their way of understanding. And I left that to do event planning. And I ended up in radio as a radio show host because someone invited me on their show to talk about the events that I do. And I said, okay, well, this is cool. And the producer on that show said, you know, you really ought to consider doing a show about this in radio. That's not me. And then a couple weeks later, a different radio show host had heard my interview and asked me to come in to do the same thing. And of course, it was the same producer. And here he is again. You really should consider a career in radio. About a week or so later, the general manager of that station called me and asked me if I'd considered a career in radio. And I went for it. And inside of the first couple of weeks of me being on the air, not having any idea what I was doing, I was offered the opportunity to interview a human trafficking survivor. When she came to my radio program, I thought she was a mole. I thought she was like a person that traffics drugs, you know. Okay. I had no idea that she was the product and the commodity and that she was a victim of this for years. And, you know, repeated assaults on her daily, sexual assaults at force. And this happened right here in the United States. And then as I did the research, I realized that Atlanta, Georgia is the #1 city for this mess.
Wow.
Yeah. So radio kind of led me to an appreciation not only for the arts by way of all the people that I interviewed on the radio, but also an appreciation for, you know, human rights and civil rights and human trafficking and doing the right thing by people. And so all of that's merged together to, you know, birth the positive arts movement as well as our production RimShot Urban Musical.
Wow, yeah, that's interesting, and I know we talked about that, and you do have that radio voice, so you can.
Why,
for the
thank
ladies,
you.
It works well. I think we may need to see about getting you on the air. So yeah, we may work that out, but you know, and we'll get into that. We actually talked about that, and we want to give that that human trafficking issue the due that it deserves, and you know, I want to sit down and talk with you about that.
Yes.
On a full session.
Okay, awesome.
But right now, let's talk a little bit about RimShot, the Urban Musical. Why don't you tell the folks a little bit about what that is?
It's a play that I was inspired to write, again, for our cause, which is human trafficking awareness. Okay. But what I realized in the entertainment industry is that it was becoming more and more lewd, that young women were being more and more objectified as part of our culture, and that they were getting paid less and less, and in many instances, not at all. And so RimShot Urban Musical tells a story that runs a parallel, really, a metaphoric parallel to human trafficking, about how the girls in this industry, especially even in Atlanta, are in this industry wearing fewer and fewer clothes and doing and making more and more moral sacrifices for less and less money in this industry. It's almost like the gimmick is more so about how sexy or how lewd or how sexual they can be, and it doesn't really rest so much on their talent anymore. And I have a problem with that. And so I decided to use that passion that I have for that particular issue to develop a theatrical production. It was birthed in me off of the interview that I mentioned earlier. Wrote it inside of 4 days and didn't know the first thing about writing plays. I recruited all the artists that I'd grown to know over the years in event planning and doing media with the radio program. And crazy enough, they all said yes, they'd be willing to do it. So they've taken their talent and they've wrapped it around these characters that I formed in our head. And we tell this amazing story by way of use of their talent. And it's worked beautifully. People are like, I don't know if this is a traditional stage play, if this is a concert, but it's whatever it is, we get it, you know? Okay. And they're not washed over with the heaviness of the epidemic. They're actually edutained, which is a phrase that Reggie and I coined. They're being educated and entertained at the same time about the epidemic, about the fact that they don't have to make moral sacrifices and there is a high road and a safe landing place for them through us.
Wow. Okay. Well, that definitely sounds interesting. I mean, it's one of those things where you're thinking about it and you use the term edutain, and that's one of the things I think we have to do a lot more of. We it's just like doing stuff with your kids where you got to wrap the medicine up in something sweet that they like, and
that's right.
And sometimes it gives that opportunity. Can you give us any information as far as like just a basic synopsis of some of the characters and like who the main characters are and what they've got going on?
Our main character is a young lady by the name of Jada, inspired by Jada Pinkett Smith, who is a huge human trafficking awareness advocate. But it follows her story as she's going through this journey in the entertainment industry. She's approached by another gentleman, and his name is Slick. And Slick is this big time music record executive that also has another young lady who is another one of our main characters. Her name is Georgia. He's already got Georgia, but he's trying to get Jada. And that's what I'm going to leave it right there.
Okay, cool. Are there any protagonists, any superhero type guys that's trying to do the right thing?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Jada has a love interest called Dante, and the key word there is love. I'm gonna leave that there.
Okay.
But he is kind of the person that keeps them apart, and Slick is trying to infiltrate that love and get through that love. Of course, Slick has a crew.
Right.
Georgia has a crew. We also have some other beautiful characters in there. Jada has a mother named Celeste, a beautiful young lady named Teresa Lang, and she is just an awesome singer. She has a little sister that she's growing up under her. So, it's a lot of different things that are covered in this, not just human trafficking, but peer pressure.
Okay.
Self-imagery, positive imagery, and also we will also find, I'm trying not to give it away too much, but we'll find that our bad guy Slick has some issues too.
Oh, okay. Well, and hey, that's normal because pretty
Absolutely.
much all of us got issues anyway. Those
Absolutely.
people doing wrong probably have a lot more than we tend to admit.
Yes.
Well, where can people check out RimShot, or how do folks get to it? What do you guys have coming up?
Okay, so we have what we call RimShot Unleashed. Yes. So remember now, Reggie and I are both educators, and so education is a very important part of what we do. So what we've done is we've isolated certain scenes inside of the play, and we use those scenes as an opportunity to educate people. And so we have an extended promo coming up next Friday, which is April 4th at 7 p.m. at Lakeland Christian Center International at 812 Riverdale Road. And at that event, we'll do a couple of scenes, and then we'll stop and engage the audience and ask them, what did you see? What did that mean to you? Do you know anybody like Celeste? Do you know somebody like Slick? This educational opportunity works out very well for promotional purposes, but also to extend ourselves beyond the stage and reach out to the young people, because they may see the play, but it's nothing like being able to discuss it and really reflect on what they saw.
Well, that's a good idea. You don't see a lot of folks do that, and that's definitely something I think that's a positive, because what you're doing is, like you said, you're giving people an opportunity to engage.
Yes.
And they may have a friend who may be going through, if they're not themselves, but somebody that they can reach out to, and they can be like, I have a friend who acts like that, or, so now they're asking questions that before they may not have asked and didn't know to ask because they didn't know what the signs were.
That's right. That's right.
Reggie wanted to say something?
Yes. Prime example, we did one of these Unleashed promos a couple of weeks ago, right around the corner from here, Jackson Memorial Church. There was a young lady who was 19 who mentioned the very things that we were discussing, some of the stats that we shared about a young lady who runs away from home within 72 hours. She is normally caught up or is a victim of human trafficking. And there was a young lady who was in there that was 19 years old that said, I was that victim. I was taken in by somebody after I had run away from home. It wasn't until my auntie who rescued her from Florida and brought her up to here that she escaped that. So exactly what you just said, we can reach other people one at a time, a group at a time, a room full at a time, and spread this message where people otherwise would be embarrassed to talk about it. So we're creating this platform through RimShot Urban Musical and our Unleashed programs.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give y'all credit, but I love that idea. I'm going to take that Unleashed idea. Yeah. We're going to be doing that somewhere. But believe me, every time we do it, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to let y'all know. I took this from the folks who do RimShot Urban Musical. Y'all need to check them out. By then, we'll make sure y'all on DVD. And so they can get you. And we're going to, but this is, because that's a great idea. I think that's one of the things that when we have, like you said, when you have those opportunities to educate and as well as entertain, that it helps people meet the need, as we like to say. They meet that need because now they see and they have an outlet in a venue or in a setting that isn't threatening to them. Absolutely. Because that's a lot of times, I've worked in the school system and a lot of kids are just afraid because they don't understand or they don't know what the repercussions are going to be. So they, they don't want to get people in trouble even if they see someone who's hurting. And they're like, well, I've seen it on TV and they'll take them away from their parents. Well, baby, some points, you need to, because, or, if the parents aren't doing what they're supposed to, or if somebody's in a situation with a boyfriend or a girlfriend that they don't need to be in, and, and the violence. And I mean, I vividly remember in high school having friends where we had issues with that. And, it was one of those things where, we as guys in the school, we tried to deal with as much as possible, but there was only so much we could do.
Exactly.
That you needed that to get into.
Yeah.
So that's next Friday.
Yes.
That the Unleashed is going to be coming out. And when is the full production going to be taking place?
It will be on April 26th, which is a Saturday. It'll be at Harper Archer Middle School. They have an auditorium, and they feed in 2 other high schools. So it's a very large auditorium, amazing venue. We are actually going to start promotions on that probably in the middle of next week. So if you follow us on Facebook at RimShot Urban Musical, or if you go out to our website, which is RimShotUrbanMusical.com, you'll find everything that you need to know about the production, when we're coming, what we're doing. We're always promoting. Because remember now, we do have a cause that's attached to the production, so we always have to keep something fresh in front of people to give them the opportunity. People say that the production has changed their lives, people that have been in it, and also people who've seen it. And so I only needed to change one when I started this process. And so if we're continually changing lives, I'll never stop doing this.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's what you want. We definitely like to figure out whatever we can do to help you further your situation. I'm going to be, we're more than happy to do it. I don't know if we could even, I know you guys do your thing next week, next Thursday or Friday, you said.
Next Friday.
I mean, even if we can get, one of your scenes, get a couple of the actors and just get them to come out, and we'll do something again with that. And talk to some other folks. And I definitely know that we're trying to do things with young people in this facility. So to be able to even get you guys maybe to come out and do something with it here, because, and this is something I've learned along the way. And there's nothing wrong with doing it in a church, but some people won't even come to a church.
Right.
They don't and unfortunately it's a lot of the folks who need to hear those kind of messages.
That's right.
So this is this is definitely one of those venues that we can bring people into, and in this community, is, I think we talked about, this area is one of the major areas for human trafficking here in the Atlanta market.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. And let me tell you this as well. Some churches are not receptive to us bringing the message to their congregation. A lot of people who don't understand the difference think that human trafficking and prostitution is one and the same. And it's entirely different.
Well, you know what? Even if it were that similar, it's a situation where people need the opportunity to be educated to help stop it.
Yes.
And so, that's a whole nother show.
Right.
With a whole nother discussion as far as what we can do as far as people who don't want you to do stuff and get a positive message. So let's do this. Let's go one more time. I want you to give all of your information as far as contact, how folks can get in touch with you guys, Facebook, if you do Twitter, Instagram, websites, all those things. So just look out into the camera and
right here,
and we'll get you on that one.
Okay. So what you need to do is go out to RimShotUrbanMusical.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Official RimShot. And you can also like our Facebook page at RimShot Urban Musical. Everything's RimShot Urban Musical. Google us. We're all over the place. RimShot Urban Musical. You can contact us. You can contact our creative team. If you're interested in maybe hosting an event like this, you can contact us at 678-306-3616. I'm AC. This is Reggie Love. We're very easy to reach, and we're anxious to get in front of everybody. There's a message in this production from the ages of 5 to 55. So come on out. Bring your friends, bring your parents, your friends. Let's do this. Let's change the world through the entertainment. Well,
we're going to help make that happen.
Yeah.
We definitely going to help make that happen. And I can tell you one of the things that I definitely like to see about getting with you guys, and we'll talk about it. We're already set up in a couple of different cities with our folks. And Dallas and Orlando are our 2 next markets that we're going to be pushing into as a network. And I know we can get you into Orlando now. We're just setting up the Dallas stuff. So if you guys are interested in traveling, we just need to talk out the details and see how we can get that going.
We definitely are interested in traveling, and Dallas is one of those hubs as well. I want to say Orlando, somewhere. It's an area in Florida. Miami, Florida is another hub. So
Right. Yeah.
we.
I was gonna say, I figured South Florida. That's the area.
Yeah.
From. I mean, it's. And I think what it is those cities that are more international because you have a large population of people who are transient as it is anyway.
Exactly.
So it makes it easy. You know, it's an unfortunate way to look at it, but it makes it easy for people to get caught up in those areas. So, you know, but again, man, I want to thank the folks from Positive Arts Movement, Mr. Kason and
thank you,
Carswell. We had that conversation because I said his name wrong in the
it
promo.
happens all the time.
My bad.
Most of the time I go by Reggie Love, and that's the reason why. That's easy.
Right. I can't mess that one up. So we won't do that. And Miss Angela Carswell. We definitely want to thank you guys for coming out on this abbreviated Urban America Today, Atlanta Today.
Yes.
And getting in. But we definitely are going to talk, and hopefully, you know, we can, like I said, get at least one of the scenes to come out next week. And
Absolutely.
do some stuff, and then even do a little bit promotion. We will help push it over the course of the week.
Thank you
to our folks. I may run your interview on. I say may. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to run your interview on my radio show.
Thank you.
You know, one day next week. So we'll definitely have that, and so that folks can get it going. Folks, that's just about going to do it then. Is there anything else you want to tell people? Anything else they need to know?
Also, make sure you visit www.positiveartsmovement.com. If you are in arts or entertainment and you're looking for a positive atmosphere and environment, come be a member of the Positive Arts Movement. We have anything from seminars, workshop series. We have an interactive learning series. We have a recording studio. We do mixing, mastering. We have stages. We have photography, videography, etc., etc. So come get at us. Everybody say love.
All right, guys. Thanks again. And want to give a shout out to my boy D, rolling the board for us today. Appreciate your help, man.
Thank you, D.
We gonna head up out of here. We'll talk about going and checking out the Get Connected. We may see how that's rolling through. Definitely gonna get something to eat though. All right. So till next week, you guys. Thanks again for coming out. This is Urban America Today, Atlanta. Later.